you had a memoir, what would the title be?
What's a memoir?
Like an autobiography.
An autobiography?
But like, I don't know. It's kind of written in a slightly different style than
An autobiography.
a biography, but it's more like the story of your life.
Oh, God.
Not like about you. But like, think of life from then to now. What would the title of it be?
Awkward. Yep.
No hesitation there.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it would be. I don't know.
No,
Like-
if I wrote a memoir about you, I'd probably title it Awkward too. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
I gave up on like trying to not be awkward a long time ago. I kind of just
like,
accepted.
Not even just about you, but about your life in general.
Yeah.
Like
awkward.
awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward's good. I don't know. Mine would probably have to be something along the lines of loud and obnoxious.
You're very loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're a loud talker.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that though.
Voice just doesn't turn off.
Well, it's good because I'm really quiet.
I know.
So
I'm the one who has to tell the waitresses what we need.
Yeah, that's why I married you.
It's a fictional character you resonated with as a kid.
Ooh.
Like if you're thinking like Disney movies or childhood books. I don't know if you ever read like a series of books or something.
Did you ever read the series of unfortunate events?
Yeah, but I don't really remember them.
Yeah, I don't remember them too well either, but I remember those were like really popular when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
So everybody was always reading them. And it was like the cool thing to read those. I remember the books too were like they were all hardcover and they were like physically pleasing, I guess.
Yeah, I read the Dear America books.
What were those about?
They're like historical fiction, but they put like some of them, like there was an Anne Frank version and stuff, but historical fiction because it's not all accurate. But it's written from that historical figure's perspective.
Mm.
It's like if these historical figures had a diary, what they would have. Because it's written in the style of a diary. There's Dear America, and then there's My Royal Diaries, which I read those too, that had like Queen Elizabeth and Anne Boleyn. So, but they're written in like the style of a diary, but I'm pretty sure they're historical fiction. It's not like it was their actual diary.
There was this one book that I really liked. It was called The Diary of an Early American Boy. It was a diary of like a teenage kid growing up in the 1600s in America. And it's not really much of a story, but it details a lot of like the homesteading stuff they had to do back then. So it had a lot of like diagrams of like building houses and barns and just little stuff like that. Like I remember one of the things in there that was kind of cool was there was this whole like excerpt about how this kid built a window in his room out of used bottles. Like he built the window and then he put the bottles in there so there was glass and you could see through. Yeah, I don't remember much other than that off the top of my head, but I remember like always like reading through that thinking it was wicked cool. Just I don't know, that was always something I was interested in as a kid, was like, which I'm still interested in now, is like the homesteading stuff. Was historical fiction, was that like your go-to genre when you were younger? Is that what you liked, or did you have like
more nonfiction?
Nonfiction, yeah, nonfiction was my thing too. Oh man, I remember. Did you ever read the Spiderwick Chronicles? Those were like pretty cool. It was about this like family that lived in this old like spooky house, and they would encounter like and the house had all these like weird creatures and like entities like attached to it, and they would like interact with them, and it was pretty cool. I'd want to find those again and reread them because I bet they'd still hold up. Yeah, I mean they're children's books, so they'd be quick reads, but
yeah. I mean, I like James Patterson, and I think they're quick reads. You know.
What's his stuff about? I see we have a bunch of his
Murder
books
mystery.
On there. Murder mystery.
Yeah,
okay.
There's some movies made of some of his books and stuff.
Yeah, because we have a bunch of his stuff on the bookshelf over there, but I've never even looked at his book.
All the number ones, like The Third Degree, First to Die, maybe it's Second Degree, I don't know. But that's all the series of Alex Cross, which is like his detective, and you follow him throughout like these murder mysteries.
Hmm.
There's some dark and twisted ones too, but they're pretty like, I don't know. I like them because you can read. They're written well, but they're not like, I don't like extensive vocabulary where I'm having to look up every other word
Yeah.
just for what they're describing. But I wouldn't even say these are very descriptive. A lot of them are a lot more dialogue and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like if you were to watch a crime show, I guess.
Yeah, I like.
So I read those a lot as a kid. And by kid, I mean like middle high school. I
Yeah.
was reading James Patterson.
Yeah, I used to read a lot when I was in elementary school, and then middle school, high school, I stopped reading. Like reading was dumb, and then I started reading again when
And
I
then
got
you
older,
got them.
and then I got dumb. Yeah, but yeah, now I'm
I
like
think
almost
Kiss.
exclusively
I think
history
Kiss
and
the Girls is James Patterson, and that one's rough. I think there's a movie about. I think it's also.
Undaunted Courage, the book about Lewis and Clark. That's an awesome
Yeah, I
book.
think I read that one when I was young.
Yeah, yeah, that one's really cool. Can you
Mm.
imagine like Lewis and like it's crazy to think that they just took a group of guys and just they were like, "Hey, we don't know what's out there. Like take a boat and see how far you can get." You know. Yeah, I think a lot of people when they think of Lewis and Clark, they're usually depicted with like canoes and stuff. That was like very here and there. They were using canoes. They actually used like a big like boat for most of it. And they had like and it wasn't just Lewis and Clark. I think there was like 30 guys. Like
Yeah.
it was like a crew,
I mean,
you
but
know.
that's like, I mean, any country has those stories.
Yeah.
People exploring
I mean, we've obviously done a bunch of podcasts on it, but mythology is
it. Yeah.
huge too. I love reading mythology.
I mean, I think I can find enjoyment in almost anything. I mean, I read this one that was kind of more of like a, I think it's called Sunday with Tiffany or something.
Breakfast with Tiffany.
No, no, it wasn't that.
Yeah, that's a song, I think.
No, the song. There's a song. Yes,
Is it a song or is it a movie? I don't
it
know.
might be both, but there's a book that's kind of similar, but it's not. It, like the name is similar, but it's not anything to do with that. It
Yeah.
just has a Tiffany in it.
Mm.
I don't know. I read this one book too, and I wish I remembered the title because it was really good. But it's like this girl, she grew up with an imaginary best friend, but like meets him later in life,
Hmm.
which was weird. Because like her imaginary best friend was an adult, and then like she meets him later, he hadn't aged.
Yeah. The weather has been really weird. Like the past 2 winters have been pretty mild. And I'm saying that now, like it's going to take a swing and the next 3 months are going to be brutal, I bet, but I don't know.
It's very rainy January.
I was reading this thing. I don't know where I read it. It might have been on Google or something like that, but they were saying that because the
global warming.
No, not global warming. They said that up here in New England, because the past 2 winters have been so mild, the ticks have survived through the winter. So there's way more of them. They're like growing up, if you kind of came up to like this area and farther north, there weren't any ticks. Like ticks didn't come up this far north. Now they're everywhere up here, and it's because they were able to survive through the winter, and their population just like got huge and they spread out. But what the article was about though is about moose. It's saying that there's no moose in New Hampshire anymore because the ticks actually kill the moose. Like the moose will get like 1,000 ticks on it and it'll die. It's very sad. I don't know how true that is, but because I don't know the validity of the article, but it got me thinking about it because there's moose crossing signs everywhere, but a lot of I guess they're just really old. There's not really much more moose in New Hampshire anymore. But again, I could be wrong. Could have been some
pulling shit out of your ass.
Yeah, that could have just been some weird website, weird article that anybody could have wrote. But I read it and I believed it because that's what you do.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing you've ever Googled that like you think if people looked at your search history they'd be like, what the hell? I did one the other day and I can't remember exactly what it was. I wonder if it pops up in my But I was like, man, if anyone ever like looks at this, they're gonna be like, what the fuck?
It would probably be some like obscure medical question that I was like trying to figure out. Not like diagnosing myself, but like just trying to like understand something.
Clemento's pizza is always in my top search.
Mentos
Because
rules.
I'm always checking how late they're open.
Nice.
Nice Italian
Let's look-
sandwich
Let's
today.
look at my Google searches. How do you tell what
You just go to Google and then you click on the search bar and then it'll pop up your most recents. Mine are hair places near me, HBO Max, Clemento's, NH Kino payouts.
who are South Africa's biggest allies? That was one I recently Googled.
And then mine's a lot of like TV show stuff. I look up spoilers for like my shows that aren't like, like I wouldn't consider them good shows, but they entertain me. So right now I'm watching Chicago Fire. So I looked up Otis Chicago Fire because I wanted to find out if he died or if he is going to end up dying. And then...
Yeah, I got some funny... Yeah, that's probably my most obscure ones. The rest are all like history. Amazon, weather tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
There's this one that I watch, and she has the cutest Rottweiler, and he has a die that is like a Dungeons and Dragons die where you can get a nat 20 or a 1.
Nice.
And the dog rolls it for which treat he's gonna get.
Oh.
And he's the cutest Rottweiler, and if he gets a nat 20, he gets all 3 treats.
Oh.
And I got to see one finally where he got all 3 treats.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, he rolls it.
Oh, he like rolls it with his nose.
No, he picks it up in his mouth and tosses it up. He's the cutest thing. I want to roll
Buddy,
more.
we're gonna have to go in the other room.
Oh, that look.
He looks so sad.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good. Dad needs to learn how to focus and not get distracted. You're not doing anything wrong. And if there was more room on the futon, he probably would eventually leave you alone, but he doesn't like laying on piles of blankets.
Yeah, Watson's a very picky dog.
Don't hurt his feelings now.
Why are you giving me that look?
It's just a look like, Dad, don't you love me? Move over. I need room. Look at...
This is his, like, spot, like,
Yeah.
where he sleeps at night.
I love that he sneaks in here. Like,
oh, yeah, as if he's not allowed in here.
Yeah, we've never told him, no, you can't be in here unless I'm washing the sheets. But he took that as, no, I can never... Oh, my God, he is pathetic right now because he's uncomfortable. That's what he's telling you. That's why he's sprawled out dramatically.
Yep.
You're in his spot.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking cute. So Hell Let Loose has been a good game.
Yeah, we've been on a Valheim kick too. Valheim, I really like that game as well. I know you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. It makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
The graphics make me not good. You're a fucking goddamn harpy, dude.
What, my long ass toenails?
Yes.
They're not that bad. I mean, they're bad. Definitely not that bad.
There was this kid on the
They've
school
been
bus that
worse.
used to wear flip-flops, and his toenails were so long they were curling, and I think yours are getting to that point.
No.
Yeah. And they're dirty.
They are dirty, but the reason they're dirty is because I wear those. Boots. Yeah, I wear my mucking boots.
And I don't put socks on.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's not a good excuse. Any mother will tell you.
Please.
Wear your goddamn socks in your shoes so they don't smell.
No.
You don't think your mother would tell you that you're supposed to wear socks in your boots?
I mean, if they're muck boots for like working in the chicken pen.
Exactly.
No.
All the more reason to have socks on underneath them.
No.
You probably have duck feces underneath your toenails.
Probably.
Wear fucking socks, dude. We have
Nah.
a whole bin of socks.
No. I'm just gonna be petty now and not gonna wear socks
Dude,
to
you're
work
gonna,
either. We get blisters in my
That's
feet.
how I'm going to die. One night you're gonna lacerate me, and I'm gonna bleed out from those fucking toenails. You're gonna nick an artery, probably my femoral. That would make the most sense.
Yeah, that could be it. Well,